Americans say that abusing migrants and children is not who we are. Well, history shows otherwise. So we have to ask, who do we want to be? Listen to this.
Bueno, aquí tenemos una orquesta.
That's the sound of children sobbing, pleading for their parents inside a U.S. Customs and Border Protection facility, hostages of the Trump administration, to deter migrants from trying to enter the United States illegally. And it wants Congress to pay ransom, billions of dollars for a border wall with Mexico. Un-American? Not who we are? Sadly, this is who America has been. Separating families of color is part of America's DNA. Remember slavery? It was U.S. policy to tear black children away from their enslaved parents until 1865. African American kids were sold off and forced to work. They were abused and raped. A good meal, a good bed, medical care? Yeah, that was not a part of the deal. And then there's America's treatment of Native Americans. For 125 years, the U.S. government ripped indigenous children from their parents. Kids were forced into white boarding schools and told essentially to forget completely who they were. This was not summer camp. They had to give up their names, their language, their clothes. Many were physically and sexually abused. And this wasn't once upon a time. Some of these schools were open until the 1970s. Oh, and remember the internment camps? After Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941, the US worried all Americans of Japanese ancestry were the enemy. So the US locked up 120,000 people in camps. Kids got to stay with their families, but they were prisoners of war for 4 years. And some history we barely even talk about, like America's history of utter cruelty at the southern border. Americans tortured and killed Hispanic men, women, and children along the Mexico border at the beginning of the 20th century. World War I and Mexico's Civil War had everyone tense, so Texas Rangers and vigilantes racially profiled brown people and lynched them, burned them, decapitated them. But yeah, instead of condemning this, we glorify the Texas Rangers. After all, there's a baseball team named after them, right? We like to think that all of this is in the far distant past, but the legacy of this trauma and injustice lives on. We still don't place as much value on brown and black families as we do white families. Even today, in our child welfare system, Black and Latino children are more likely to be taken from their parents and placed in foster care. It's a good thing that many people are fighting back against the Trump administration's sickening treatment of migrants and children. But we can't be in denial about America's cruel past, because acknowledging it is the first step to ensuring that we all have a more just future. If you like this, subscribe to the channel and give me your feedback in the comments.